Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing the quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.
Hi, it's Ariella Vaccarino
and Teresa Ofstad
from Momentum. Thank you so much for listening in. Today we have a fantastic guest that we're so excited about. Teresa knows her well.
Yes, so I met Gail years ago, and she's a fabulous lady that we are so excited to have on our show today. I'll share more about what she's done, but also how she's affected my life. She's been a huge influence of mine. She's been a mentor, so you'll get to hear some of the stories and some of the things she does.
And so Gail Lara, right? Lara is how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Perfect.
Welcome, Gail.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have her on the show. So Gail Lara is currently a small business commissioner for the city of Los Angeles. She is a retired resource. She was the founder of the Women's Collaborative Mentoring Program, and she's a single mother with 3 children, one of which is high-functioning autism. So we'd love to hear, how all of the mom and entrepreneur balances with her family. Mm-hmm. And she's so happy to now be a grandmother.
Oh, congratulations.
And so it's just amazing. She's been able to enjoy being with family now and still participating and sharing her resources through being a small business commissioner and all of the other connections that she's had. She's also received lots of awards. She's been named the Valley 200 Most Influential Leaders.
Wow.
She's been part of a planning committee for the city of Los Angeles for their Women's Entrepreneur Day and Small Business Summits. She is part of the Special Needs Network. Also, we chartered a Speaking Your Business Toastmasters Club, which we are both still part of. So I'm just so excited to have you here today, Gail.
Well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Coming. It's so exciting. I don't know you at all, and everything I'm hearing that you're doing is so exciting, and I think our audience is going to feel the same. Like, this woman really knows what she's doing. Mm-hmm. You know, not like us. I mean, we know a lot of stuff, but like, you know the behind the scenes, and you've seen a lot. You've seen probably a lot of women go through what we're going through right now.
Yes, and I think she even has in here she has served more than 5,200 business owners to help them start and grow their business. Wow. And she's just, again, a huge resource for the funding that new businesses need. So Can you tell us more about that, Gail? We love to hear from you.
Can't wait.
Absolutely. Thank you. I started doing this, actually, let's go way back. I was right out of college, moved to Hawaii, stayed there for 25 years and had my 3 children. I moved back to the mainland here 23 years ago in the year 2000. And I was in retail for 25 of those years I was in Hawaii. And I thought, you know what? I can do my own business. And I decided then to just start from there.
Wow.
And I started my own business, did some retail, brought goods in from Hawaii, and I did that for a while. And then I said, well, I kind of like having insurance and a lot of other things, that benefits that go with it. So I decided to do my own business along with working for a nonprofit where I had the benefits and I was able to do what I really love. And that's help women entrepreneurs to grow their business and start. Because it's a scary journey.
So that was your business when you said start your own business. It was helping other women entrepreneurs. That was what you started?
Yes.
Okay. What was that called?
Women's Collaborative Mentoring
Program. So that's a Women's Collaborative Mentoring Program. Awesome. Yes. So how many years ago again was that you started it?
I started that 10 years ago.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And then I just recently retired the end of last year.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and I remember connecting with Gail through the Valley Economic Alliance. She, has really tapped into her resources throughout the city of how to connect with businesses. And that's how I was introduced to her originally. But again, we've been part of so many different programs together, including the Toastmaster group, including the masterminds that we had one of our previous guests on. We were part of those classes together. So she's always been a great resource, but also somebody who likes to continue to learn herself and gain more resources and knowledge herself too.
And it's so fascinating to me because I've done none of this route that you guys are so deep rooted in. So I'm listening to it because I'm coming in from the arts perspective and I've done pretty much everything on my own. and to hear this real business networking side of it. For me, my networking is other mommies meeting me, and then they tell their friends about me, and I teach their kids, and or I do a YouTube video about singing. So to hear this other aspect is so fascinating to me. So I want to hear all about it.
Yeah.
It still is the best way to do things, and that's word of mouth.
Yes.
I mean, we have all this social media and all this great stuff going on,
Yep.
which great to tap into, but nothing like this. Nothing like really meeting people,
Yes.
breaking bread with them, and getting to know them. And really, that's where your big connections are.
Absolutely. So you have, but it's hard as a mom because you're so busy, entrenched in the baseball and the Girl Scouts, whatever it is, and to do that business networking, to make that time. So, I mean, what are your recommendations for just like, the drowning mom in the nicest way, but the drowning mom trying to like go for this dream?
Well, it definitely is planning and scheduling.
Planning, scheduling.
When you want and need something, you're going to prioritize it and schedule it.
Yes.
In Hawaii, growing up with my 3 children, we used to have Hana Fridays.
Okay.
That means finish work and you go to the beach, watch a sunset, and have dinner. It was the thing, all the things you give your kids. Now my kids are all grown. Okay, they're
Right.
30s and 20s, and I have my first grandbaby and another one on the way. So excited!
Fantastic.
But I'll tell you what, the things they remember the most are Hana Fridays. Having dinner together, sitting at the table together.
Yeah.
Those are the things that are going to be the most meaningful
Yeah.
to them.
Yes.
Because they're traditions that you're building. It's that you're making the time for them. And they know what the schedule is. And they looked forward to every Friday going to the beach and having dinner.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
So, but basically what you're saying is we can, as moms, work hard throughout the week. As long as we're carving out that good family time, it creates that balance. And, and like you said, creating those memories that, not only are they cherishing the memories of being together during that, how do you say it? Hana Fridays.
Hana
Fridays.
That's, how the Casual Fridays started. Really.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, I had no
That is
idea.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Because in Hawaii, the word pow is finish.
Okay.
So you pow work.
Yeah.
You finish work, and then that's how it's
Hana is just blessings and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
It's bliss.
yes.
I know a lot of people who do Friday night Shabbat dinners. It's a Jewish thing where everybody comes together. That's always been hard for me with my husband who works in film, and he's never, it's hard for him to make it home. So, we haven't really done that. But then there's a lot of people who do Sunday dinners, where the kids can depend on this thing coming up. And we're really also as a family always try and create traditions, but it is what they remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing, it was cute. My 2 girls were together the other day, and they were going, do you remember? Because I used to assign at least one dinner or breakfast or lunch a week that they would have to plan.
Oh, awesome.
They would have to go to the market and buy the food and do the whole thing. And it was funny because the girls were going, remember when we were at the market and we got all the groceries, we planned the thing, we get to the cash register, and we don't have enough money because they had a budget.
Oh, wow.
amazing.
That
And then,
teach them.
and then they
Awesome.
looked at me like, and I was like, they started putting stuff back.
Wait, I might do
that's
that.
it. Going
I
to
can
do
walk
it.
to Target. I can send some kids off to Target. I am going to do that. I'm going to make a big brother take them, and because they like to cook.
Yeah, and just be like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is your budget. Because then they have to try
I
to
love it.
fit the budget. That's awesome.
Oh, I'm going to
That's
do
brilliant.
it.
But I was going to say, back to the Pohana Fridays, that also teaches them that it's okay to work hard and to see their mom,
Yeah.
creating this business or doing whatever it is that you're doing throughout the week, and then just spending that time together as a family at the end, or whatever day you choose, whether it's Friday or Wednesday or Sunday. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's so
And you
awesome.
said you have a son abilities on the spectrum, right?
Yes.
So was he
My
home
youngest.
during the day all the time, or did he go off to school?
He was high functioning.
Okay, great.
And but back then the real challenge was he was high functioning, and the idea for the schools, LAUSD, was to put them in a program and mix them with the other children without the guidance or the support, and the teachers weren't trained how to handle it, and
got a lot
it
to
really
go
was
still.
a challenge.
Did he have a shadow or someone?
He did,
helping?
and I guess again the shadow didn't really have the skills to know what to do, and it made him stand out.
Yeah.
So there was so many challenges. I can't tell you how. I mean, that would be a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really stood out for me, because let's face it, autism today is a big business. You know, do this medicine, do this diet,
Yeah.
do this program.
Yes.
And as a desperate parent, you're trying to do it all that you don't even know what's working.
Yeah.
Totally
And really,
understand
the light bulb went off for me one day when it was raining, and I was one of those poor me mom days, right?
Yeah.
And I was rushing to pick him up, take him to his appointment. And it was a group therapy thing. And I knew he didn't like to go because he said, he says, where are we going? I go, to your appointment, and we're late. And he was so upset. I pulled over, pouring rain. I looked at him and I said, you're as tired of going to all this as I am of taking you.
Right.
And it was the light bulb that went off. I said, this isn't about fixing him, but it was all about understanding him. Did he need this medicine? Did he need this program? Did he need this?
Yeah.
And it really then told me I need to sit down and with his caregivers, his teachers, what one thing are you doing that's working?
Yeah.
The laundry list of what's not working is there.
Yeah.
They couldn't give me one. And that's when we said, let's put together what we're going to do and work on that, and one thing at a time. And that's when things changed.
Yeah.
Because I realized that I understood him. And I needed to, when he comes home, it was all about the way you talk to him. Do you want a snack before you start your homework? Not start your homework.
Right.
And those were the little things that I learned by listening to him.
Right. But you had to, figure that out almost like Sherlock Holmes. You had to figure out how he worked, but at the same time, you're a single mom, right? And you're having a business, and you've got other children as well. And I'm pointing it out because I know so many of our listeners have so many different issues at home, whether it's a sick parent or a child who's struggling with issues or whatever it is, single parent. There's so many things, and yet how did you create a business? Because it's one thing if you then just had to go to work and not worry and somebody gave you a job and you just did it, but you had to be inventive and use your brain power and creativity and imagination and your networking and all that energy that, it's very hard to have that and the energy for the kids and the special needs. And
Well, I will say that my daughters I was blessed. They were so responsible.
Wonderful.
They were right there for their brother. I didn't have that. I didn't have the issues that are happening with a lot of teens today. And maybe because they weren't into social media and they weren't into TV. They just wanted to be outside and play, and they just wanted to be, whatever. And I think the other thing is the family meals every day. We sat together every day to have dinner.
so dinner every day, same time, or did it matter?
Pretty much the same time. One set the table, one did the meal, one did the, and they all had their thing. And it was our time to talk. How was your day? What happened?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they would tell you, well, this happened. And then, okay, how are you going to handle it the next day? Or what are you going to do? And if it was an issue that they needed help with, because I would always ask them, do you need help? No, I think I can do it. The next day we'd talk about it at dinner.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I did and it worked. So you need to give them that opportunity to accomplish things, not do it for them.
Oh, I like that.
That is the big key, believe me. Just give them the opportunity to be responsible.
Just support them along the way.
We tend to want to hover and fix everything. And let me tell you, when it's all said and done and you're not there, they need to know how to do it themselves. Believe me, it'll make the biggest difference. So my two girls were responsible. They helped with their brother. And today we have, weekly FaceTimes, and we all talk and see how each other. And to this day, we catch up, and they're so.
Do you live close?
My son is in Hawaii on the North Shore. He is getting married.
Oh my God!
On the North
so
Shore, he
exciting.
found a lovely girl.
Fantastic.
He built a place on her grandmother's property in Kahana Bay, and
This
and
is your
this-
son who is on the spectrum.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! That's
to this day
amazing.
he is doing well. He has his own business, plus he works with his godfather, who's a contractor, and that's why he was able to build a place for him and his girlfriend. And they are getting married in August, so we're going there for the wedding. I am so lucky.
So your
you know,
cup is filled.
Yes.
so filled.
Yes.
And having my first grandbaby and a new one on the way, I can't tell you how exciting that is. It's the best.
Amazing. So, okay, well, I think we already know how awesome of a mom you are,
Yes.
and it's very inspirational. And I love hearing the story kind of on the other end once the kids are out and where we're all heading. But I want to hear about your business life, right?
Yeah.
Do you have questions for her?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, more so, I think, I did share on another episode that I just happened to be at a networking event and I just happened to have a good friend attend at the same time, not knowing each other were attending. And when I overheard that she was starting an entrepreneur training program
this is
that
her.
week, this is her, this is Gail.
She did talk about you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I talked about you on another podcast and another episode. And so, her programs that she shares, all the connections she has with small business, it's amazing. And, there's a whole program that I went through. It really gave me all the tips and tools I need to, learn how to start it, how to create a business plan, all of those things. So, talk to us a little bit about that. Do you have any tips for somebody starting business? Where should they go? What should step one be? Step 1 through 5, maybe. I don't know. Whatever tips and advice you can share with our listeners.
Yeah. I'd love it.
Absolutely. There is so many resources out there today, not only online. And today, the beauty of being able to not even have to go in person is a big plus.
Yeah.
You can meet people in other countries and other, cities, as well as here and meet for coffee and connect. One of the things that people thought, wow, she's got all these connections, and is because I made the time to find out what resources are out there. And not only that, but work with those resources.
Yeah.
What do they do? Right. You have the SBDC, the SBA, you have...
Wait, can you tell us what those letters mean?
SBDC is Small Business Development.
Okay.
Center, I think.
Yeah, centers. And then you have the Business Source Centers. Those are run by the city.
So that's the
Business Source, yes.
BSC or...
Yes.
They call it,
It's one word, actually, Business Source.
Business
And
Source.
those are run by the city.
we're going to put a list.
Yes.
Let me just say
Yeah.
that they are free.
Okay.
Yes.
I always recommend that you reach out to all of them because you never know when your business is going to cross somebody's desk and say, hey, we're looking for this, or we have a program for that, or invite you to. So
what do you mean
always
reach
think
out?
of-
Like, I've never done anything like this. Will you just call and be like, hey, I'm a...
Yeah, reach out.
I'm starting
Get
a
on,
business.
get in
and
some classes. What are the steps? They're going to tell you the licensing. The Business Source Centers, they even helped you get your license.
Wow.
They helped you sign up. They helped you with so many things, making sure that checklist is there.
Okay.
Like she mentioned, I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs over the years. And the 2 questions most asked is, where do you find a mentor?
Yeah.
And how do you know? What is the steps?
Yeah.
And so really having a checklist to be able to follow, so you're not missing a license, or you're not missing, information that you can reach out at your fingertips, get to know them, and they can get back to you. You can email them or even text and say, I have this issue. I have this thing that came in the mail, because there's so much mail that comes for small businesses saying pay this and pay that, and you don't really need to.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of those things are free
Wow.
with these resources.
How are they funded, these places you're talking about?
They're funded by the city.
I had
And it is
no
free.
idea.
And that's why I say you should go to some of these programs first before paying out, because a lot of them have mentors that they bring in. And that's the other thing. I worked with each one of them. I told them what our entrepreneurs were looking for, because not one source has the budget to do it all.
Right.
They're stretching themselves if
Okay.
they do.
Yeah.
So we started meeting together with all these resources and saying they need legal, they need accounting, they need... And so bringing in those different resources, those different classes, those different programs is really how my program built.
Yeah.
Because I had a way to send them, and it was just me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was a lot of me because I was able to connect with the resources,
Yes.
and then point people in the right direction to get the help they needed at that moment.
Yeah.
And
So your collaborative, it took all those resources and helped people guide them to where they all needed to go.
Yes.
Can you name a few other of them? You said the SBD, you said the business.
SBDC, the business source centers. Those are probably two of the biggest that are out there right now.
Does every city have them, or is this a California thing?
It's a Los Angeles thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to verify, because you did also mention SBA. That's different than the
Small
Business Source Center.
The Small Business Administration is a federal program that it oversees in all the states, oversees these programs.
Right.
So they come and have different programs themselves, as well as events and things like that. And those big events are the times to do it.
Yeah.
You know, one of the big pushes is for having contracting, women contractors. One thing we've pushed for so long is, why don't you have any women contractors doing the city work, doing this program? And there are a lot of women in construction that are getting some huge contracts.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because they're focusing on women. They're focusing on, Black-owned businesses and other, types of specific, needs. There's, isn't there like a license, not a licensing, you're part of a group to be part of this women-owned business or Black-owned business and other sources. That,
a women-owned business means something today. Having that logo on your...
We can get a logo?
Yes.
Having that
Yes.
logo,
Oh, shoot.
women-owned.
yes,
okay?
women-owned business.
Yeah. And
Mommy-owned business.
Honestly, I went to go buy granola the other day, and you know how many choices you have. There was one that said woman-owned business.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and so and as women, you need to start doing that too for each other. You need to start saying, "Hey, I'm gonna hire a woman-owned business." And that was the other thing with these programs. I said, "Okay, you're gonna do an event. Are you gonna hire that woman, or are you gonna go to Costco and use something else?"
Right.
I love Costco. But are you gonna use something else? So you've got to start hiring them, giving them the opportunities, so that they can start making money.
Absolutely. And just real quick too, I know that she provided all these resources during her entrepreneur training program. And so I was connected to the SBDC. And that's another person that she's connecting you to that finds out what you need and connects you to the specific thing that you're focusing on in your business at that moment. So you want to focus on legal terms, she'll connect you with somebody who handles their legal department. Marketing connects you with somebody who handles the marketing department. And all of the different, all free. Yes, these are free resources to all of you mommies out there that are interested in starting a business and have no idea. We will have connections and links in this episode of where you can go.
And on our Facebook page
and
as
on
well.
our Facebook page, we'll provide a lot of these resources that Gail has provided me, and it's been amazing. That's why I know I can do this, because of people like Gail. I know that there are resources out there for me to figure out how to do this business.
And what about the Women's Collaborative Mentoring Program? Does it still exist? Because you said you've retired now.
I just retired.
So is it done?
It is done.
Oh, it retired with you?
It is.
Oh.
But her resources still continue.
Okay.
We'll continue to share. I mean, again, she has created so many connections in her business that all of those connections now are able to forward, the resources that she provided. So, she's affected a lot of and inspired a lot of business owners. And so... And like I say, gained a lot of resources. So we'll continue to share.
Oh, that's really amazing.
It will continue, because the impact you did in this business will continue to have that ripple effect, is my point.
Thank you. I think meeting everyone, giving them the information, and collaboration is the real key here. And don't sit back and wait. I mean, this is what I need. Where do I go to get it? And if it's not out there, what can we do to create it?
And then how come, so you had this incredible company that you had. Now, why didn't you pass it on? Like, why did you make that choice to retire it?
That's a really good question. I put it under the Valley Economic Alliance, so I had a location there. And then I also was working for Operation Hope, which I had a location there, which I was running their classes, their Women Entrepreneur Program, the Launch and Grow, which is a wonderful program as well, and that's free.
Launch and Grow.
Yes.
And that was the Valley Economic Alliance, right?
No, that was Operation Hope.
Operation Hope,
Yeah.
Launch and Grow. Yeah.
But the Valley Economic Alliance is where I had put my program. And when I decided to retire, they were in the middle of a transition.
Okay.
And I think it was if I wasn't going to be there to run it, it was more like, okay, well, you know, we need to make sure that somebody's there to do the program. And honestly, because I didn't have my children anymore, they were grown, I was able to put in the time and the effort and care about each client. And that took a lot of hours and a lot of things. But I did it because I loved it. And it was something I did from the heart.
Yeah.
And I thought about, continuing to do it. But when you make up your mind to say, step back and enjoy and make time for you and look at your next, your next transition in life.
The next season. Yes.
Can I ask you, so you as a businesswoman, how did it affect your children in their own jobs? I mean, did they go into business for themselves? I mean, what did they learn from it? How did it pass on?
My middle daughter, who lives in Mammoth, and she has a wellness center in Mammoth and one in Bishop.
Oh.
And she is doing her own thing.
But she's also helping people.
She is helping people.
It's just a little bit different.
Exactly.
It's her own voice on it.
And my oldest daughter, she always tapped into doing her own elixirs and mix, things like that. And she does, it for her sister as well. But she also works for a corporate company.
Okay.
She just is now, they're, what it is to have to, make a lot of money today because you need to have a house and you need to have, and that's really very challenging.
Yeah.
So, and my son, he's got his own business, and plus he works with his uncle.
So this really passed on to them. They saw the value of working for yourself or a work ethic.
That's sweet. I didn't really even think about that, but I guess they did.
Yes.
They were there for me, and I will say that I notice when moms and their business transfer to their children. I know when a woman is out there working her business. And let me tell you, that's what you need to do to make it.
Yes.
You need to speak your business every day to everyone, every
talked about
opportunity, and nonstop. Okay, who am I going to talk to? Did I speak to 10 people today? Did I tell them
like
about my
that.
business? Did I move forward with? And you need to do that every day, all day, every opportunity. And I always know when a mom's been doing that because you're at an event with her, there she is with her kids in tow.
Yeah.
They're not, and then she starts telling somebody about what she does.
Yeah.
And the little kid comes over and says, "Oh, I'll tell him." And then, and then they go in and they get the whole spiel, right? And it's so cute. I says, that mom's been doing it. And let me tell you, that's what it takes to make it.
I mean, that's also the only way to do it. I mean, I have an example. We were at an event for my kids' elementary school, and I was starting these group classes. And my husband, he just said he was in awe watching me because I was meeting parents I had never met before. And it'd be really easy for me not to tell them that I have group improv or group singing classes starting for kids. But I found a way to tell everybody because some of them were actually looking for that class. And if they weren't interested, I'm not going to push it, but how are they going to find out about it if I don't tell them?
That's it.
And my husband was just cracking up. And then my kids are telling their friends about it. I'm like, okay, we don't want to push it, but just in case they want to know, let's let them know.
Speak your business.
Yeah, speak your business. I like what you said about, and this is a real hard challenge, that I wonder if we could take it for like a month or something, speak to 10 people a day about your business. I mean, if you took that like an hour in the morning, 10 people contacts a day, that's an amazing challenge, I would think. Is that something that, I
encourage
you really
that,
mean that about the 10 people?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's how people get to know you.
Exactly.
Oh, I met her. I heard about her.
Yeah.
They say 7 times people have to hear about you before you get the sale or whatever
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
You need to be out there all the time.
Yeah.
It
Constantly.
might not click the first time, the second time, whatever.
Yeah.
But they keep hearing it, keep seeing it.
Yeah.
They're going to start
And
remembering.
there was another tip that Gail gave to me, and in this type of thought process, get out and speak to 10. but also be known for something. Be the expert of be the one that they go, oh, I need something. I need help in senior living.
Right.
I'm going to Teresa,
Yes.
So be known for what it is
Right.
that you're creating. And I was going to add too, to what you're saying, Ariella. I mean, really with speaking to 10 people a day doesn't mean wait until you're in an office sitting down on the phone, calling somebody. It can be in those events that we're attending with school. It can be during our basketball practices. I mean, there are so many moms that we come in contact with that, or people in general for whatever it is that you're providing a business or whatever your business is that you're providing a service. Speak to anybody and everybody that you come in contact with.
Yeah. And I want to hear what they're doing too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always fascinating to me. I'm like, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
It's like lots of times you're sitting with these people at all these parent events. You have no idea what they're doing or what's inside of them. And that's
Absolutely.
so fascinating to me.
I oftentimes, because I'm part of so many different groups through my son for school, for this sport, this thing, that thing, that, there's so many times I wonder, what does their mom do? What does their dad do? And I feel like, we have each other's contact information. I'm going to say this now, but I'm going to say it and I'm going to now try to make it happen.
Yeah.
I would love to just email all the parents and go, hey, let's just jump on a Zoom and network. Like, what does everybody do?
Right.
Let's just talk about it, because we really don't know. We're there to watch our kid and we don't even think to ask these questions. But it becomes so natural conversation. Just ask, oh, so what do you do? It can, you never know where it can lead. I mean, look at our conversation at a practice one time and you connected me with the woman that I would have had no clue to connect with. And she is such an integral part of what I'm going to be building and doing. She provides the training for doctors and nurses to be able to,
and I didn't even know what she did exactly.
The training for my staff and volunteers. It's the connections that we make when we're networking and talking with other moms and other business people, whoever we're coming in contact throughout the day.
You want it to be when you walk in the door, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, mompreneur, or seniors.
Yes.
Or they're gonna have a word or a sentence.
Yeah, I'm like
for
voice
you.
teacher.
Right.
Improv,
voice
voice lessons.
Just think about that, because that has to be what you're saying, the same thing each time.
Yeah. And you're creating
Very
a brand.
clear.
Yes.
You're creating a brand.
It's just like there's like a title over your head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also, there's sometimes you do things for free as well, which you do with the joy in your heart, but there's another side of it. Like I would run the talent show at the school, or I would play piano for the first few years at the Christmas winter thing. I'd play the piano so that now everybody knows I'm the mom who plays. You need piano lessons? I think there's this mom, because now you have to put yourself in the forefront sometimes so people see what you do. And now it's interesting because we can also do it in social media. So we're creating these reels and we're like announcing ourselves, and I'm posting all the time for my voice lessons to go, and that's another way of reaching out to people. And nothing like a real conversation, but it does put you in front of people, which is an amazing resource now.
Exactly.
I mean, we've heard a lot about how amazing Gail is and how much she does and how busy she has been with her kids and business. I want to hear what your morning routine is like.
Oh, I heard about this.
How does your morning routine start?
Let's hear it.
It has started with gratitude for the last 10 years. It really starts with the morning. Thank you for all my blessings, my children, my friends, family, everything. And just a morning walk. And now I have my neighbor that I knew since 5th grade. And we walk together, and it's just very nice to get out, see, and start your morning with just clearing your mind, being grateful for whatever you see, the sky, the birds, whatever, and just starting with a little gratitude and ending your day that way as well.
That's beautiful. I also, it really hits me as well as, so you're a mom with 3 kids. One of them had special needs, but I'm not hearing this angry, tired, overworked woman. I mean, there's so many people in the same situation as you that could have taken it very differently, could have been really angry, wouldn't have ever found the energy to start and help other people. I mean, you really have something extra special in you that you were able to do something like that. It's amazing. You're not sitting here being like, nobody helped me, so I had to start my own thing. I mean, some people could come from that perspective.
And that's where you really have to find your passion. What are you good at? You love doing what you're doing.
Right.
Piano.
Yeah.
You know, you're good at that.
Yeah.
You know what you're good at. You had the experience of your mother.
Yeah.
And so really finding that passion.
Yes, finding
Money
your
is
passion.
important. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You need to look at your business plan and say, what is my business going to look like in 5 years?
Yeah.
How am I going to make money this year?
Yes.
Today, tomorrow, next week, this month. How much am I expecting to make?
Yes.
Because by the end of the year, you got to look at that and say, or actually every month, did I meet my goal? Did I meet my goal? And because if you're not making money, it's not fun. Let me just say, it can be give. And I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and women especially. We want to give away the store. We're wondering why we don't get paid as much, why we don't get paid in business or in work, because we don't ask. We're just doing the work. And we need to learn to value what we do, 100%. Who we are, and start saying, I deserve this, and own it. We still want to give away. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I worked with that, I want to give away to a charity. Get your business going first, okay? Because believe me, the charities are another whole thing that you got to start tracking and doing. But you got to give to yourself first.
Yeah.
Get yourself established. Then you can start thinking about all the charities that you want to help because you're established and you can do that.
Yeah.
But when you're barely making it yourself,
Yeah.
you've got to think about that first. How am I going to make money doing something, my passion, and grow that? And when you coming to grow that is whenever you're looking at growing your business, don't think about, your own money. Businesses grow and banks will lend if you have money. Okay. So save everything you can. Don't spend it on this pen and that and this and that, whatever. Save it. And then when you want to grow your business, borrow it, because they're going to give you money if you have money. They won't if you don't.
That's good advice.
So you've got to say, okay, I've got money here. I'm going to go grow my business and ask for money, because you have to establish that credit so that you can continue to grow your business each time. And you got to prove that I'm making this much money. I'm going to grow my business to this much money. And then you're able to ask. Wow.
You know, when you say know your worth, or you said something like that, and it really rings in me because I've been teaching piano and voice over 20 years, and I am not the cheapest teacher by any means. And I'll have some parents be like, well, this person will do it for $25 an hour or something. And I will always tell them, I'd be like, that's great. Actually, why don't you call the music department at your local college and ask for a music teacher? I've been teaching over 20 years. People are coming to me for who I am. It's taken me over 20 years to be great at what I do, and it's really owning it, and having to let some people go and say, I understand, no problem, let me help you, point you to somebody else, because it's not where I am. I was where I was.
I love that.
But I'm not there anymore.
Exactly. And that's when you start owning it. That's not your customer.
No.
And you need to start, in today's economy, honestly, if you're not making at least $25 an hour, you're looking at $50 to $100 to an hour.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because when you look at all your expenses, especially if you have to go to them, you have to start asking and increasing your value and price, and people will start seeing it. Think about that now. Somebody wants you to work for $25 an hour.
Right.
And somebody's willing to pay you $100 an hour.
Or more.
You only need that one or two or
that's
three here versus, right?
Yeah, and you can't compare an 18-year-old to a 51-year-old woman, right? So also, as somebody out there who's going to pay for services, I realize a lot of moms have to look for a deal. I also have 5 kids. I understand the need to look for a deal. But then there's also times where you need to get a professional. That's what I am. And so you get to a certain point.
Right.
And
I love what she said. That's what I am.
Yeah.
That's owning it. That's your value.
Yeah.
And you have to grow from there.
Yep.
Good job.
Oh, this has been awesome.
It's been awesome. Wow. And it's been so officially business.
I know. Well, like I said, Gail's got lots of great resources, and we will create a little flyer sheet that
Teresa
we can
will.
Yes,
she will.
Canva is great to create little flyers of, just tips and guidance of where to get started and the different kinds of resources you can connect with. And one thing I did want to point out, our listeners are not just from the city of Los Los Angeles.
That's right.
They are from all over the
Right.
world.
Today we saw there was someone from England. That was
Yes.
pretty exciting.
Yes, we have about, I think, 5 or 6 countries now.
Yep.
And we have about 12, 13
states as of this morning.
Yes.
So that was exciting as we grow.
So, these tips that I'm going to be sharing are, local based, but always connect with the city. And even, maybe I'll even share like some ideas of how to Google and how to research these resources because they're available in every city. It just depends on, they'll just be called something different.
Yeah.
But if you start with Google researching business tips, business support, how to launch your business, how to get started in business for your area, then I'm sure all sorts of resources will come up.
Yeah, I'm excited to try and go to maybe some networking events. I've really not done that. And I really think that the week that we air Gail Lara on our podcast. That's what are we doing?
Yes.
We should start a challenge for speak to 10 people a day. I
Yes.
really like that idea. So let's think about how we want to do that because what a great challenge for us and for our listeners. It just kind of pushes you a little bit. See what happens with it. We can check in about it.
Yeah, and ideas of where to speak to people.
Yeah.
Because again, it doesn't have to be, I've carved out this amount of time to work my business because my kids are in school during this time. You could be doing when you're picking up kids at school or when you're taking them to a practice or when you're just at the grocery store, wherever it is, speak about your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your your morning coffee person, your laundry person, all of those.
And they
all
start
should know
speaking
you.
for you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They speak for you. Oh, I met somebody that I told them to give you.
Yes.
So again, give them your information. Not just talk about it, but here, if you know of anybody.
Perfect.
Because that's how they're going to. A lot of times they don't need your business, but they know somebody. that
Yes.
does.
And that's for our podcast as well, you know, because we have a lot of things going now. This podcast is for a certain person, but if they don't hear about it, they'll never listen to it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So spread the message, share,
Absolutely.
listen, share, like, and just we really want to create this community of support for all of these women. It's not just me, it's not just Ariella, it's not just Gail, it's not just any one of us, but all collaboratively.
The momentum of momentum.
Yes. Women's Collaborative Mentoring Program.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Gail, for coming. If you wouldn't mind reading our message with us, this is like how we like to sign out. So thank you, Gail, and follow your dreams.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing their quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.